Alright, there it goes. So, let me set this up here. Please there we go. Alrighty then. Hopefully it's centered. Well, Facebook, it is me, Trap. Basically, the reason why I'm recording is because my Friday night DM for my Pathfinder game, Pathfinder RPG, has the possibility of not being able to run the game. So, what I have taken the liberty of doing, just in case, as a precaution, I gotta turn this button right off, just in case, is I have decided to try and run in case he can't. This folder contains the first part of an adventure path called the Legacy of Fire, and it holds the first part, like I said, but it also holds some of the essentials, like names of the characters and details of the campaign and what I might forget and might need a little bit refreshing on. I also have let me go ahead and get it up here. A map of the world that my dad gave me when he was running that's the name of the world, Golarion. When he was running Golarion on his Saturday night game. So I was able to find this last Saturday, and I just put it in my folder because, well, it's a good resource. Well, basically, with the first part of the Legacy of Fire takes place is in a place called Katapesh. I don't know if you can see it up here, but the reason why it looks like a city is because it's almost like New York. You know how the capital of New York is New York? That's the reason why they have New York, New York. Same idea. But basically, let me just get back here. I have the player's guide, which allows you to customize your character's personality. But this is the second part of the Legacy of Fire. The problem I'm having is that throughout my entire house, I was only able to find 12 total sheets of sheet protectors. It helps me out because now I can thumb through the adventure path like a book. But now, since there is no longer any more left in the house, I need more, but I don't know how much they cost over at Walmart. I'm presuming around $5 for a packet of 25 or 50. Also, I also need suggestions from anybody about any printing places that I can go in order to print up the other 5 parts of the adventure path. Basically, this folder is the starting point of what would be my first successful campaign. I'm not trying to pull something that one of our I want to say newer, but not really, our newer DMs, or newer DM Edward. No, I don't want to. No. But basically, I just don't want to skim through it and then give up as soon as it gets hard. It's not an offense, it's just for Edward. I don't take it as an insult, it's just it was running so good and then it died. Here is some of the parts that I have. This one can be seen anyway because, well, the name of the first adventure path is called the Howl of the Carrion King, which is a like an Emperor Null, and this basically gives me a little packet on how many tribes he controls and what they are. So, basically, in order to have my first successful campaign going, sure, it might be a little bit of a railroad at first, but in order for me to become a better GM, I have to go off of official documentations. Therefore, trying to do this in the case that my Friday Night DM is no longer able to DM, and basically allow the people that are in the Friday night game to, to be able to still play, but also have another DM that they can rely upon in order to have them play. But first, I need to be able to first run a successful campaign before I can start new ones, and new ones on my own if I get them right. If this is successful, I get two things. I get the ability to be creative and to come up with my own stuff, as well as the fact that now they have a new DM. My first campaign, if you can call it that, was actually a Star Wars campaign, and I screwed up on that big time. Well, I don't want to say I screwed up on it, because from what I've heard, I did okay. It was during the break of 8th grade, and what happened was, as soon as the school year started to hit, I quit because I didn't want to be impacted by both the game and the beginning of the school year's work. Being that I was a new and just out of the oven kid, I didn't want to have to deal with all that. I just wanted to focus on one thing, that was schoolwork, because school versus hobby, I'd rather go with school than the hobby. Now, basically, to do another review, if you guys have any spare sheet protectors just lying around that are in decently good condition, like this one right here, as long as it sticks to the binder, I'm okay with it. Like, it's sticking out just a little bit farther than it should, but I don't mind that. As long as I can get 2 pages out of it and it sticks inside a binder. Most of the kids from the 2011-2012 freshman year should have a lot of them in their freshman. I wonder if I still have it. Yeah, kick it around somewhere. But from their freshman binder, where they gave you 7 sheet protectors. But basically, every adventure path comes with 100 pages, which is nice for me because I don't have to go and buy 50 and then I have to go buy 63 or 75 or whatever. It's 6 to 100, so therefore I would probably need 50 sheets, because 50 divided by 2 for either side, or 100 divided by 2 for either side of the sheet protector becomes 50. So that's all I would need, just 50. So that's nice to know. And if you guys could, this is possibly going to cost some money, but most of my binders around here suck, and this is the best condition one that I have. As you can see, this right here, I don't know if you can, but this right here is cut off slightly, it's been ripped, and down here I only get so much out of it before it starts to crawl in on me. I was going to be using this for my entire Legacy of Fire campaign. That's the reason why it says Legacy of Fire campaign folder-file. Problem is that down here, it's the back, the spine, started to split. So I couldn't stuff all of it in here. Now, basically, For those who haven't played D&D, let me go ahead and D&D, or in this case, Pathfinder from Paizo. Let me go ahead and explain it to you. Basically, you use a sheet like this. Now, this sheet labels 3 physical ability scores and 3 mental ability scores. Strength, dexterity, and con are your physicals, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma are your mentals. So, the best way to describe D&D is to think of Lord of the Rings, because that was what the original D&D from 1976 was all about. It was all about the Tolkien ideals of, like, Legolas, Aragorn, Gandalf, Frodo, Gimli, and the Hobbit. So what started to happen is that they got this inspiration to have other people make characters that would trigger their imagination. That was called Dungeons & Dragons, first edition. And that came out in 1976, just a year before the first Star Wars ever came out, Star Wars A New Hope. So it's that old. Somewhere in the 80s, I'm not sure when, they came out with Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition, which apparently was a little bit more customizable, but not. Basically, what you would do is, from how it's explained to me, I've never really played it before, but the way it's been explained to me is any fighter would be like a fighter. That's kind of a hillbilly way to think of it. Basically, any fighter would just like be any other fighter on the street. The only difference would be the weapon that they chose, the armor, and the shield. That was the only difference. The other part is that wizards were slightly, I don't know, I've never been really told how wizards work, but from what I can tell, they came in 2 or 3 ways. There was the regular mage, think of Gandalf with that. There was the illusionist, creates illusions and think that makes you believe that there's a brick wall when there isn't. And then there's the psychic guy. He's not like, he knows what like license plate it is. No. They can actually use powers to influence other people to do what they want them to, or heck, even do it for dragons, which, well, on the front cover, dragon. In 1998, if I remember, Dungeons & Dragons 3.0 came out. What 3.0 allowed you to do is it stopped you were just any other fighter or any other mage. You can customize your character how you want him to. Like, say you wanted to be an archer that you would see in the movies, like it could shoot through a small slit. Or you wanted to be a huge, great axe-wielding fighter that could chop down giants. Or say you wanted to be a bard that can help everyone and tell stories. That was the idea of Dungeons & Dragons 3.0. Then 3.5 came out in, I believe, 2003. 2003 created, along with 3.0, it created the thing that most of us gamers like to call rules lawyers. Basically, they thumb through the rule book. Pathfinder also has these people in it too. They thumb through the rule book, say that a person's invisible. They will find out whether or not cover or concealment. Yeah, that's one of the two. Concealment is different than cover. It's funky, but they will find out, like, no, I don't get a 20% mischance. I would instead get a 50% mischance for them to hit me. They would do that. Or how would they know I was there? I basically had the GMs explain the reason why they are doing it. And if they can't lawyer their way through it, then they'll get very pissy. That's the best way to describe it. 3.5 and 3.0 also created people like me, gosh, I don't know what's happening there, created people like most of our Friday night group, which are called Power Gamers. Scott, I'm excluding you. So what happened with this is that Power Gaming allows you to, you know how you would build a character like for Dragon Age or just some sort of role-playing game like Skyrim or Oblivion? You would build them up to such phenomenal levels that nothing can beat you. That is Power Gaming. So you might be thinking, well, what's the big harm with that? Scott, which is one of our buddies, our gaming buddies over at our Friday night game, is not a power gamer. He's more personality based. He had a ratkin that my friend Jeff called Rattykins, but he was an insane rat person. He's about I think he was 3'2" and 9, or no, I don't think he was 90 pounds, but I think he was roughly around his 60s, 60 pounders. And he was insane, and he threw bombs, and he was a witch. He developed his character's personality more than he did the build. Basically, a build is basically you would focus on one or many things. Say you want to be a skills monkey, what would happen? Skills right up here. You would start to put high numbers in these slots. Or say you want to be a big damage dealer. Instead of doing the 1d8 plus 4 or 6 that Scott would do, Power Gamers would do the 1d8 plus 20. And there was a big problem with this because there were two separate gamers. There was the Power Gamers and then there wasn't. So the people that weren't, the ones that wanted the lower levels and just wanted to work their way up to gods or legends, they weren't able to do that because the Power Gamers would overshadow them. They would kill everything, they wouldn't worry about it, and basically most of the Power Gamers didn't care about the personality based people. That's flat out truth. Some who are empathetic like me, Mike, and I don't think there's a lot of other people, but people who understand what it feels like in order to be overshadowed by somebody and have to deal with it during a character, it's not a nice feeling because you want your moment of glory in like a battle or role-playing or whatever it is. But if somebody overshadows you with it, then you're just left in the dark all the time. And let's just say it's not very fun, and you usually lose interest in the character. So, basically, with these characters that you create, you go out and you explore and you make things happen. Like down here on the Katapesh map, down here in Dogtown, it's known for Dogtown because there are a lot of gnolls that live around there that trade stuff. But say that there was somebody there who knew where the halflings were, because halflings are a good slave item on the flesh markets of Volcano, which is this island right here, right below Katapesh, or right above Katapesh, I should say. And they would start taking a lot of the halflings, right? Well, your job, because basically you're considered an adventurer or a hero, you start off at adventure and you work your way up to hero. How you do that depends on how your GM wants to go down. GM is basically the person that runs the game, like the AI in a computer for a game. And you would use this sheet in order to figure out how you can do something. Say you have an intelligence of 3. Basically, these scores right here, strength, con, dex, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, the considered normal is 10. So if you have the intelligence of 3, that basically means you can't speak. You are not Forrest Gump. He's more like a 6. So you're half the intelligence of Forrest Gump. And let's just say that's sad. Say you wanted to be like a wizard, you want to have an above average intelligence in order to know more spells and being able to use them. So basically, say you were a fighter bard. You like to go out and write the tales that you have done. You would go and sing about them in taverns, right? So you would just go over, kill the tribe of gnolls that are capturing the halflings and set the halflings free, and usually they would give you a reward, whether it be in gold, a favor, or heck, it could be I don't want to say a bond, but a boon. There it is. They would give you a boon, and you would be able to cash it in for something, like in Edward's game. We got a boon from a couple of people, but we didn't really know how to cash them in. I didn't know how to cash them in. So basically what ended up happening is we wanted to cash those in. Well, I wanted to cash some in, but I didn't know how or how to get there, but that was actually failed role-playing on my part. So that is basically the whole idea of Dungeons & Dragons. The adventure path basically railroads you. Basically what a railroad is it takes you from one place to another and basically leads you up to that point. You don't have any decision on if you can go there or not. Most GMs try to steer away from that as best as possible, but little railroading is okay because you want them to go in a certain direction in order to complete the adventure. If they are supposed to go north and they go south, well, you want them to go north to finish the adventure, right? Slate railroads like that. So basically, again, let's review. If you guys can, I would like to get a bigger binder. I would like, if you can, just donations, more sheet protectors, and God, what was the other one? I know I had something else. Binder, this. Well, it's back in the video, so you could just rewind it and find out where it is. So, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you donate for me, as I am trying to participate in this project. Sean, I'm okay with you donating. I'm not sure if the rest of the group will let you back in, though. That's something that you'll just have to work out. Okay. So, again, thank you for watching the video, and if you can, donate some of the items that I've said in the video that I've said. Thank you.